Hello and welcome to Verbal Edge. My name is Rupesh, and in today's video, I'll be explaining a paradigmal question which I've taken from CAT 2020 slot 1. And this is just the first of the explanations. There were a lot of paradigmal questions across 3 slots. So I'll be dedicating one video for explaining one particular question. The important thing about paradigmal questions that have been appearing in the CAT for last few years is that there are no options, right? So there is no negative marking also, but there are no options, and you have to understand the entire sequence and type it down there in the box, right? So the help provided by options usually in paradigmal questions is not available in current CAT questions, right? So very quickly, I'll go on to the next screen where you can see the question. And what you can do is you can pause the video, take some time to solve this question, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever time you take. The time as of now is not of that much concern as whether you are able to get the logic right or not, right? And once you have done it, you can continue playing the video and go through the explanation. And probably you can check your answer to that also. So, right. Before I get on with the discussion of this question, I'll brief you with the basic approach that I always advise people to solve general paragraph questions. So, this is the basic approach. The first and foremost is that try to treat whatever paragraph has been given as a kind of short story, right? Although you might find it a bit difficult because there's a lot of pressure over there, pressure of examination. You think the questions are difficult. So sometimes people, they are not at all in a frame of mind to consider it to be any kind of story. But with practice, after you have applied this approach on 30, 40, 50 questions, you will understand that this works, right? So treating that short paragraph as a story means that just like a story has different important characters, events, and there's a particular flow, the similar kind of thing you can expect in a paragraph. The only difference is that these are non-fiction. They're not as interesting as a typical fictional story would be. Still, no paragraph can do without a sequence of events, without some coherence of ideas, right? Whether the topic is interesting or dull, whoever writes it will ensure, will want at least that when people read it, they can follow a particular thought flow, right? So this is number one. Number two, we have to focus on the best opening sentence, right? The word here is best, not good. You may come across like out of four sentences, you may come across maybe 1 or 2 sentences you think this can start too. But then the real logical challenge is that which one is a better opening sentence out of 2 good sentences. So that we can call as best, right? What is the criteria for identifying that? The first and foremost is that there's a basic convention in communication. Introduction is followed by elaboration, right? So first things are introduced and then elaborated. So ideally any sentence which seems to introduce the main characters, main events, and we think that remaining sentences are elaborating on that particular sentence, then we can think that, okay, this is the best opening sentence, right? Number one. Number two, we have to look for best closing sentence. So that is also a big help sometimes, right? Now, how to identify best closing sentence? 2 ways. One, sometimes a sentence very clearly sums up the entire paragraph, right? It can also help with offer with connectives like therefore, so, thus, in the end, right? On the whole. So if these words are there, well and good. Otherwise, the other criteria which can be used to find out the best closing sentence is that a sentence which is not being carried forward by any other sentence, right? For example, let's say we think sentence A can be the ending sentence, closing sentence. But then we read sentence B and we think that sentence B is actually elaborating something which has been mentioned in sentence A. So now sentence A cannot be the best closing sentence, right? So ideally we are looking for 2 kind of sentences. Number one, for closing sentence. Number one, which seems to sum up the idea, and number two, which no other sentences carry forward, right? And finally, there's the concept of mandatory pairs, sentences which, because of some verbal clues, have to be put together, right? So out of, let's say, ABCD, you think that, okay, A and C are going together. So let us put A and C together. Then you also think that B and D are also going together. You can put B and D also together. Now, when you are with two mandatory pairs, you have to find that BD and C or AC. So whichever is the better opening sentence, or whichever is the better closing sentence, you can take all the helps together. Right? The point is that whether you are able to keep all these things in mind or not, because over there, when the start, you know that time is ticking away, there's added pressure, so we tend to forget things. So this is something that we have to keep in mind. Okay. Now let us go back to the question, and I'll read out the sentences, and I'll try to explain those sentences one by one, and we'll figure out that which are the mandatory pairs, if any, or which is the ideal opening sentence and closing sentence. So sentence A says, tensions and sometimes conflict remain an issue in between the 11 states in Southeast Asia. The states names are given: Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Timor-Leste, and Vietnam. Okay. So when we reading it in isolated way, we think, okay, this is something which is probably kind of introducing something. When you solve this question, this would have crossed your mind too. But okay, because we are not looking for a good opening sentence, we're looking for a best opening sentence. So we have to wait and read all the sentences and then make up our mind. B says, China's rise as a regional military power and its claim in the South China Sea have become an increasingly pressing security concern for many Southeast Asian states. Okay, so now it's clear that one word has appeared: Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia, Southeast Asia, right? China is the entity. Now, you might think that maybe the passage is about China, the paragraph is about China, but if paragraph is about China, then there should be other sentences also which are talking about China. If the other sentences are not talking about China, then this cannot be an opening sentence, isn't it? Right. So now we read C. Since the 1990s, the security environment of Southeast Asia has seen both continuity and profound changes. Again, Southeast Asia, right? They are also Southeast Asia. So one thing is clear, that this paragraph is about Southeast Asia, right? But what about Southeast Asia? Its economy, its agriculture, its education, or what? Good question. Now, what is the answer? The answer is security concerns, security environment, right? So, if we, I'll just use some basic annotations. So, we know that the passage is about the security environment of Southeast Asia, right? This seems to be, and then has seen both continuity and profound changes. Some things have remained same, and some things have changed. Some things have been changing, right? So this seems to be a good opening sentence, maybe the best opening sentence, because sentence A is elaborating on C. How? Remain an issue. Remain an issue means what? Continuity. So because the paragraph passage, this sentence first talks about continuity and then profound changes. So ideally after C, we can expect A, that first we are talking about things that have remained same. What has remained same? Tensions and sometimes conflict. They remain an issue in between. Remain an issue since when? Since 1990s, right? So these are the things that we have to put together. So since 1990s, they have remained an issue, right? What has changed? China's rise as regional military power have become. When do we use present perfect tense? A bit of grammar for you. We use present perfect tense for things which have happened in the recent past. So that means this development is of recent origin, right? So that means if something is of recent origin, that means it can be a part of the change. So we have talked about the continuity here, then we have talked about profound changes here, right? Now, these concerns, which concerns? These concerns, right, have become an increasingly pressing security concern for many Southeast Asian states. These concerns cause states, which states? These Southeast Asian states, from outside the region to take an active interest in the Southeast Asian security, right? So, in fact, these states are a different state than this because, like, let's say China is interfering in Philippines. So even nations which are outside of that region, maybe US, maybe Australia, maybe India, maybe Russia, they have also started taking interest in now. As we discussed about the last sentence, the idea which has been introduced here that states from outside the region are taking active interest. Now, no other sentence is elaborating on this part, right? So it ends here. Obviously, this article would have gone on. They would have talked about the other states taking interest in Southeast Asia. But at least in this paragraph, there is no sentence which takes it forward, right? So when you read it like this, when you understand the issues, when you understand the correlation between the sentences, when you understand that which sentence is being taken forward by which other sentence, right? And what are the main ingredients, main ideas, main players, or main events, then you find it difficult to correlate and strike a flow, right? So, what is the correct flow now as per the discussion? The correct flow is we'll start with C, then we move on to A because continuity is talked about in A. Then we move on to the chain that is B, and finally we move on to D, which is the best closing sentence, right? So I hope the explanation was clear. And for this video, that's it from my side. And please stay tuned for more such discussions on more CAT 2020 and CAT 2019 Parajimbal question discussions. And I'm sure you are solving on your own and you are watching these discussions. You will definitely get a way out, and you can help increase both your accuracy part also, and your confidence also will rise, and which is of prime importance. So if you enjoyed the video, you want to watch more such videos, I would request you to subscribe to this channel and keep on watching until the time we meet next time. It's bye-bye from me. Thank you.